Hello and welcome to Corner to Corner. Listen, Complex is broadcasting live from Medellin. We got Fish Scale Complex here. You know what I mean? For y'all doing this big work out there in Colombia, bringing back the purists to the United States of America. I'm Caden.
What's good? It's your boy Complex. And just understand that your boxing cousin got some friends at Customs that'll get you through.
All right, y'all. So, first things first, we're talking about the big fight, Tyson Fury, and he beat Madmadov. And basically, I had it 120, 108. I thought he won every round. Once he figured out the bull rush, there wasn't really much Madrimov can do. But everyone's talking about what happened after the fight when Tyson Fury called out Anthony Joshua. We're going to get everyone's take, especially Complex's take on this. But first, we're going to look at what happened. So this was before the decision was announced. You could see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury speaking with each other.
I'm sure was hesitant about another return. Oh, there you have Anthony Joshua and Fury shaking hands. Anthony saying, hey, it's your moment. It's your night.
So you could see Fury saying, come in the ring. AJ's like, it's your night. You know, it's cool. And Fury's basically saying, come on, get in the ring.
As he wins, this will be my last fight that I ever call, brother.
I hope that's not the case because you're one of the best, brother.
And you could see that AJ was not getting in the ring.
He's like, nigger, we're trying to promote a fight here. He's like, what's wrong with
you? Fury's like, come on, man. And AJ says no. Well, they put the peer pressure on AJ. They put the pressure on AJ because after the decision was announced, Turkey made it clear that he wanted to make Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury next. And this is what Tyson Fury had to say to Anthony Joshua.
I want you, AJ, Anthony Joshua. Let's give the fight fans what they want. The Battle of Britain. And here's my challenge. I challenge you, Anthony Joshua, to fight me, the Gypsy King, next. Do you accept my challenge? I didn't say yes or no. Let him say yes or no now. Come on, you big shithouse. You're going to fight tonight.
Tyson, you're a clout chaser. I've never had no problem getting in the ring with you. I punched you up when we were kids. And after watching you here tonight, I'll punch you up again. With all due respect, tonight is your night. And you know I'll sit across that ring from you in due time. You ain't going to tell me what to do. I've been chasing you for the last 10 years. When you're ready, you come and see me and tell me your terms and conditions, and I'll have you in the ring when I'm ready. I'm the boss. You work for me. I'm the landlord. Remember that. I'm the landlord. You work for me.
Ready, Jordy? Let's give the fight fans what they want.
Oh, man, that was a funny exchange, but you see Frank Warren the whole time just sitting there laughing.
All right. There's a funny exchange with him and Turkey earlier in the night, too.
Yeah.
We'll touch on it later.
Yeah. I saw that as well. All right, so now this is what Tyson Fury said in the ring to Turkey Al-Sheikh on his camera about the whole situation.
I want Anthony Joshua next, the big shithouse. He's there ringside, he won't say yes. Terrified, shaking his boots, the box snap off him and knock him out cold. Come on, accept my challenge, you big shithouse dosser. Get up!
Well, you heard Tyson Fury's perspective on things. Now we'll listen to a different perspective. Actually, we'll go back to Tyson Fury. This is what he said in the post-fight press conference about Anthony Joshua and making the fight.
Let's just not do it. I want 3 fights this year, no matter who it is. After the fight, you all saw what happened. I never mentioned Anthony Joshua in the whole build-up or since his accident. I've given him his respect that he deserves and his space. But tonight, he come here for the job. And I asked him to do the fight, and he should have got in there and did it, but he didn't give an answer. He didn't, to my opinion, he didn't want no smoke. He didn't want it. He didn't look like he wanted it. He was just shell shocked. Didn't know what.
Thank you.
Came ringside to make a fight, and yeah, if it was me, I'd have jumped in that ring, faced off. Let's get it on. 10 years in the making, and still, after all this time, there's still uncertainty about if this fight's going to happen next. I don't know.
Crazy.
Is it going to happen? Do I want it? Yes. But is it going to happen? I have no idea. I hope so, but you can't force someone to do something, and that's the fact. Let's just not do it. I want 3 fights this year. No matter.
All right. So that's Tyson Fury again, giving his perspective on the situation. Now we're going to listen to what Anthony Joshua had to say about it to Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum. What's happening, people? Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. But let's see now. Uncle Turkey has some work to do, and we'll see what happens next. But I enjoyed watching it, and I feel like I'm ready to build up my muscle because I want to break his jaw. Assalamu alaikum.
So that's what Anthony Joshua had to say about it. I think we have one more video about this, and it's Eddie Hearn giving his response as to why Anthony Joshua didn't go in the ring and make a big scene with Tyson Fury. And here it is right here. We'll listen to Eddie Hearn.
Was Joshua considering getting in the ring at all?
He's not into it if the fight's not done. Do you know what I mean? Because they said, "Do you want to get in the ring?" He's like, "Until we sign up." Like, how many times have we been here before? How many times have we talked about the fight? How many times is years and years? And it's never happened. So I think he's like, "Look, it's your night. I'm here. Of course, if we can get the fight done, we're extremely confident, and we'll deal with you when it happens. But until I see you across the ring, it's all hype."
AJ called him the landlord in there. Is he just sick of the years of back and forth at this point?
Because he wants to call the shots, Fury. He always has done. And that's why the fight never happened. So AJ's just saying, "Look, you need me. You're calling me, and you'll get me." Yeah, the fight, very confident the fight will happen. But at the moment, nothing's signed.
Fury said AJ's terrified. Obviously, you don't agree, but yeah, what do you make of that?
Terrified of what? That tonight? You think you'd be terrified of that? Come on. Even Fury fans, as I was walking out tonight, not the same energy.
All right, that's Eddie Hearn's take on it. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Complex spin. Let's hear Complex take on what happened. Complex, did AJ look bad not getting in the ring with Fury after being called out?
Yeah, look, there's a simple formula, right, when it comes to boxing. It's worked for literally dozens of years, right, since the first big heavyweight fights. You know, when one champion wins or whatever, right, the best way to set up the next fight is right then and there, because all eyes of the world are watching right at the post-fight, right? What happened? So who's next? So for dozens of years, for generations, fighters have been calling out other fighters, or, you know, when one fighter wins, the other one gets in the ring, and that's the next fight. And everybody already has something to talk about going into the next one, especially after a tune-up like we saw last night. You know, shout out to Makhmudov, but he was just there for a job that got done, right? So he can go back to whatever he was doing before, but we used you for what you needed, and you did your job. Okay, bye. Now, let's get to the real business at hand. AJ versus Fury. The fight everybody's been talking about, the fight that's been set up already, basically for later this year, because Netflix already announced it. And I commented, I was like, I don't think AJ said he's going to be there. AJ ain't confirming nothing. So imagine that. Netflix has already been prepared to promote this next fight, and they're like, oh, sometime in autumn, right? Because clearly we can't get these guys to sign it. So let me also say this. AJ, you know, oh, was AJ, you know, playing it cool or whatever? To me, that ish is lame. I'll tell you that. It's lame. Lame. It's so lame to play this silly game of I'm a businessman and this and that. Bro, we are, as fans, we do not care, or we should not care. Ultimately, it's a pretty simple fight to make. Neither of you guys are champions. Both of you guys are big names. There's a lot of money on the line. You're both going to make a ton of money. It should be a pretty clear 50-50. If you want to, you know, push it a little bit, 55-45, but it really shouldn't go any further than that in terms of conversations. It's pretty straightforward. just make the fight. And ultimately, you guys will make a massive amount of money on both sides. And if it go well, you can do it 2 or more times and make even more money. So this is my point: is that this is the thing with AJ, and take it or leave it how you feel. Because AJ fans, I know they're gonna be in his defense in the comments. I know Caden's gonna come to his defense right now. But there's one thing about AJ that is consistent across the years that a lot of his detractors don't like. And it's the simple fact that AJ don't want smoke. Fury just said it. I said it last week. Somebody I saw online said that AJ dug smoke with 2 boxers in the same week, which is probably a Guinness record, right? But for a guy who's in the same space and vicinity as his so-called rivals, as a so-called that he feels that he's better than, he doesn't really care to show it. Now, you might say he'll show it when he get in the ring. But he hasn't gotten in the ring with either of them, right? Now, for the past decade, Wilder, Joshua, and Fury, both very big names, both big boxers, right? But AJ hasn't gotten into the ring with those 2, right? Everybody else has gotten in some sort of combination or whatever. And I know AJ, he has a lot of fights, but generally everything has to be in AJ's name. AJ wants this, AJ wants that. And for that reason, a lot of these fights haven't happened. So with that said, I don't want this. I don't like that when you're talking about boxing, you're going to let the business aspect of it hinder on whether or not the fight happens. Now, I believe there was also another interview with AJ on Netflix afterwards, and he was kind of like hemming and hawing, like, well, maybe I'll do another fight, or maybe I'll do this or that. This is the fight to make. No waiting, no tune-ups in between, whatever. You guys need to strike while the iron's hot because things move fast. And you guys both set up other fights. One of you slips on a banana peel or whatever and loses. It's not going to work. And the public can only be pulled along so much before they get tired too. It's been too long. This is the fight to make. This September, October, whatever, in the UK, you're talking about printing money. But by playing this game, we'll see you. And the whole non-committal, like kind of aloof thing, it's not cute. The boxing fans, real boxing fans, don't like it. We want to see the fight. And if you wanted to, you could have just got in the ring, faced off, set it up, and then behind the doors, y'all do the business or whatever. But there is no benefit now of you saying this. We lose this moment. You guys both fight some other people. It's just not going to look good at the end of the day. So with that said, I'm not really a fan of how AJ approached it. I know there's other perspectives, but from my perspective, I think it was a lost opportunity to have a special moment because those are the kind of special moments we've seen in the past with other great fighters, with great heavyweights and things like that, where, you have that energy, that smoke. You get in the ring, you say, okay, you're next, and we know what's going on. Now it's like, oh, well, maybe, I'm trying to talk shit outside the ring. Say that to his face. Get in the ring and say that, and then I'll be impressed. Go tell him you're the landlord when you get in his face. But doing that stuff from outside and trying to play it cool, to me, is lame.
All right, well, you heard the complex spin. Now, hear the truth. I'll state all facts, no cap. Here are the facts, right? One thing that Complex said is true. We've seen the same Anthony Joshua for years. The man who's willing to fight the best. The man who unified. The man who fought people and beaten people, who's beaten Deontay Wilder. And the guy who was constantly chasing greatness. How do we know this? Well, just look at his resume. He's been in there with all the top guys. The top guys that Tyson Fury hasn't faced and Deontay Wilder hasn't faced. Anthony Joshua, right? He's fought and he's beaten Alexander Povetkin. He's beaten Pulev. He's beaten
Joshua beat Povetkin?
Yeah, he beat Povetkin, I believe.
Okay.
Anthony Joshua beat Povetkin. Well, you could run up the resume.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
but either way, he's beaten Joseph Parker, and he stepped in the ring with Usyk. Now, I want you to remember this: when he beat Usyk, right? When Anthony Joshua, when he lost to Usyk, excuse me, but when he was fighting Usyk, Usyk was viewed as a puffed up middleweight. When they were talking about this was the perception that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder wanted to create. They were the two best heavyweights on the planet, fighting each other 3 times. while Anthony Joshua was fighting Alexander Usyk, a puffed up middleweight who was supposed to be a tune-up, right? Remember this. When Anthony Joshua lost to Alexander Usyk, everyone kept saying, oh, this is proof he can't beat Fury. Fury will crush him. Even Wilder would crush him. Usyk was seen as some scrub, and AJ was seen as a bum for losing to Usyk. Then he lost to Usyk twice. Remember, when Usyk was set to fight Tyson Fury, Fury was overlooking him, calling him the midget, calling him all types of names, right? And it was supposed to be a coronation for Tyson Fury, except it wasn't. And then Tyson Fury got cooked. Now, when you look back at what was happening, Anthony Joshua was really the one pursuing greatness. He was really the one facing all comers. Even to this day, Tyson Fury hasn't fought Joseph Parker. Tyson Fury hasn't fought Andy Ruiz. Tyson Fury hasn't fought Daniel Dubois. Tyson Fury said he's not interested in fighting Daniel Dubois. And I know you're not interested in fighting Daniel Dubois because you pick and choose. To this day, Deontay Wilder hasn't fought Andy Ruiz. Deontay Wilder lost to Joseph Parker. Deontay Wilder lost to Jane. Deontay Wilder hasn't fought Daniel Dubois. Deontay Wilder doesn't step in the ring with the best. So the one thing that's been consistent over the years is the man who's unified the division, who's actually stepped in the ring with the best, right? He's the one chasing greatness. So now let's fast forward into time. We'll pick one. Let's pick one. Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. All right, let's start with Tyson Fury since he's the most relevant one. Who remembers when they agreed that they were going to fight each other? Eddie Hearn went to Saudi Arabia. Eddie Hearn was going back and forth, working hard to make that deal. This was after Tyson Fury had stopped Deontay Wilder, made Mark Breland throw in the towel. They went and Eddie Hearn was working his tail off to get this fight past the finish line. And what ended up happening? Arbitration. Tyson Fury had to go and fight Deontay Wilder a third time. And he did all this try to negotiate with Anthony Joshua, knowing that he had this arbitration clause in his contract, knowing that it was going to be difficult for him to get through to the finish line to fight Anthony Joshua. But you had Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn and his team really pushing for the Tyson Fury fight, like taking overt steps to make this fight happen, flying to another country and negotiating to make this fight happen. Yet those same people will sit in front of you and say AJ's afraid and AJ wanted no smoke with Tyson Fury. It's ridiculous. The facts are obvious. It's in your face. They did everything they could to make that fight. And guess what? It's not Anthony Joshua's fault that fight didn't happen. That's a fact. That's not me making it up. That's not me putting a spin on something. That's the truth. All you have to do is just go look it up, right? So that's one time the fight didn't happen. Another time, and this is documented on Tyson Fury's Netflix series, his first Netflix series. He decided he was going to retire. Then he decides he's going to come back. He decides he's going to come back, and he decides he's going to fight Anthony Joshua. He gives Anthony Joshua an unrealistic deadline to accept his terms of the fight, a 60-40 split. AJ's like, okay, we're working. Even Tyson Fury's own team on the phone on Netflix, you can hear them saying, Tyson, we're working with his team. We're getting the paperwork to each other. Please do not cancel the deadline. We're pushing the fight through. He cancels the deadline. Tyson Fury going against the advisement of his own team. And this is documented on his own Netflix series. But the spin cycle doesn't want to include this information. So if I'm Anthony Joshua and I'm sitting ringside with this guy and I really tried to fight him twice and it never got through to the finish line, you think I'm interested in selling this facade in this show? That's why there's real merit to what Anthony Joshua's saying. You're a clout chaser. Because you want to sit here and you want to do all this stuff. We could have fought already. 2 times in the making, I really tried to make a fight with you and it never happened. And both times it was because of you. Those are the facts. Those are the objective facts. It's not sexy like spinning a narrative, but it's the truth. You can go look it up. Now, let's get to the Deontay Wilder stuff last week. let's talk about real facts. Whether people want to admit it or not, he got a real offer from the Zone for $120 million to fight Anthony Joshua twice. He rejected it. Hindsight being 2020, it was the dumbest decision of his life. And he knows it now. So he had an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. He got a contract, a deal for over $120 million, but he was worried about what AJ was going to make. Hindsight being 2020, that was a dumb decision because AJ has made way more than he has, and AJ's still going to continue to make way more than he has, with or without him. So he shouldn't have been worried about AJ's pockets in the first place, which, rewind the tape, this is what Caden was saying to all the Wildettes and all his fans even back then. But let's go back into present time. Wilder now wins, and I thought he won by 2 rounds against Chisora. Is that a win to write home about? No. Is it a win to disrespect? No. Chisora is the gatekeeper, and nobody looks good against Chisora. So to me, Wilder did what he needed to do to get past the gate. I'm not mad at him. But at the same time, you walk by AJ and say, let's make it happen. Let's talk about a fact. The day of reckoning, they already had the fight signed. It was waiting to be announced. Deontay Wilder lost to Joseph Parker. Anthony Joshua beat Otto Wallin. That's the reason why they never fought each other. So all this talk about him ducking smoke twice in 2 weeks, these are 2 guys he was already signed to fight, 2 guys he already agreed to step in the ring with, and each time it never happened because of them. So how can you really sit here and blame Anthony Joshua for not being thrilled with these guys? All I know is this. When the other fighter really wanted to fight AJ, it got done. Andy Ruiz said he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua. He stepped in on short notice. The fight got done. Alexander Usyk said he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua. The fight got done. The only time the fight hasn't got done was with 2 heavyweights who've never shown interest in fighting the best in their division. And that's a fact because the resumes show it. Tyson Fury would rather fight Derek Chisora 3 times than to fight a real fight. He'd rather fight Deontay Wilder 3 times than to fight a real fight. He'd rather trick you into believing he's the best. And when he had to fight the best, Usyk, the puffed up middleweight, he lost twice. Right? Deontay Wilder's never stepped in the ring with Usyk. Deontay Wilder's never stepped in the ring. The 3 fighters on Wilder's resume that are worth a damn, right, to everyone would be Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, and Luis Ortiz. Everyone else, you could pack him away. He's never stepped in the ring. Oh, I forget Joseph Parker and Jang, but of course you saw what happened when he fought them. So this is all I'm saying to you. Let's let the record reflect what's real. And the record will reflect that Anthony Joshua accepts all the fights, all the challenges. Even the guy who really whooped Tyson Fury's ass, Francis Ngannou, and AJ had to go in and save boxing because of his shortcoming. So again, the record will reflect that Anthony Joshua doesn't duck any smoke, and Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they play the game. The only issue is AJ has been that piece on the board with all the options and all the moves, the landlord. So they got to come back to the landlord. And now he's looking at both of them like, I'll decide what I think is best for me. I call the shots. And that's the end of it.
Well, thank you for the opening arguments from AJ's counsel over here.
The facts are welcome.
So there's a saying, like if there's a joke, if you have to explain the joke, then it's not a very funny joke, and you have to explain why Anthony Joshua doesn't want smoke when everybody can see it, but you have to explain it away like, no, well, guys, you have to really understand. Like, look at this and look at that, bro. We know all the history. We know everything. We're all been following along. At the end of the day, there's a certain way you respond to a challenge as a man or as a boxer. Now, let me step back. Let me not call out AJ's manhood. That's not fair. But from what we've seen with all the other great heavyweights throughout time, right? There's always things that happen. You know what I'm saying? I believe Lennox and Mike were supposed to fight early in their career, and things happened, and it didn't happen. It happened way later in their career. At the end of the day, when there's certain
things didn't happen, Mike gave him like $9 million to step aside, and he took it.
Yeah, but fair. But that's what I'm saying. That fight didn't happen earlier. Happened later on, though, right? So there's different reasons. But my point is this: at the end of the day, um, when there's a fight to be made, and you guys already know it. And this is the thing: Netflix announced it. So if Netflix announced it, that means that Netflix already has the plans, has the budget, has everything for you guys to do it. All you guys need to do is sign on the dotted line. It's pretty straightforward. But if you got to still sit back and have this whole thing and whatever, that shit was not cool. And if anything, I would have respected it more if AJ said all that to his face. AJ trying to do that from the sidelines, and he likes to put, this is your night. He's played this game before. When Wilder, and you talk about fights that should have happened. When AJ fought Klitschko, Wilder was in attendance. They were supposed to fight next. Wilder was there to get in the ring and let's make, okay, you just beat Klitschko. You've got the belt now. I've got the belt. Let's fight next. What did AJ say? No, well, it's my night and I don't want to whatever. He played that little silly game. This is years ago. And AJ also is the same person. The same things he was saying in this interview is stuff that he said early in his career that, people never talk about. He was on an interview, I think it was with Sky Sports, and he was like, well, when it came to the Wilder fight, I've got a career and I've got my plans and I'm not going to let nobody, push me ahead of things or before I'm ready and da-da-da. And basically saying, I'm avoiding Wilder for now. That's exactly what he was saying. But nobody ever brings that up. AJ.
Where's the interview? Where's the interview?
Bro, this is a long-term interview. And there's other interview. Where it is? The interview? You know where it is? It's scrubbed from the internet, okay? Right. They got the CIA on that job. Right. I guarantee, I promise you, bro. Right. No, because real boxing fans know what I'm talking about. And y'all can mention, I know somebody mentioned the comments recently. They know, who's been following boxing since back in the...
You're saying real boxing fans, right? I just want to highlight, that would imply me. So
you know what interview I'm talking about. You're just trying to play.
I don't. I know the interview.
You know exactly what you're talking about.
No. You're mixing up his words. You're mincing words. You're trying to create something he never said.
So you tell me what he said then. What did he say?
That he never said.
In this interview that didn't happen, what did he say? Okay. In the interview that didn't happen, what did he say then?
He said that his plan was to become undisputed, and that he's going to go and follow through with his goals. And if the Wilder fight happens, great. But if it doesn't, he doesn't need Wilder. He never said that he was afraid of Wilder, he wasn't going to fight Wilder, and he was trying to avoid Wilder. He said if the Wilder fight happens, great. If it doesn't, he doesn't need Wilder. And he was right. You guys can try.
How do you not need Wilder if you want to get undisputed?
Because he knew Wilder was going to lose. Bro, you know, what's funny is all you got to do is rewind the tape. We've been at this for years. I told you the first time Wilder fought a real live body, he was going to lose. Fact. And ever since then, it's been a fact. He lost to Fury.
And then the guy who beat him, he still couldn't make that fight with him. He couldn't make the fight with Fury. So this is my point.
Here's the thing.
Is that he says he doesn't need Wilder, he doesn't need Fury. But he hasn't gotten undisputed. He's never gotten the belts. All the belts that Fury did get, he couldn't get.
This is where you and I have an issue. You said then the guy who beat Wilder, he couldn't make the fight with him. Ignoring the fact that after he beat Wilder the second time, his team did try to make the fight with Tyson Fury.
After he beat him the first time, the first fight was a draw. The second fight he won, and then they had the third fight under contract
with Tyson Fury.
Right
now, here's the thing. So how are you going to sit here and really say, oh, and he didn't make the fight with him, and when you know it's Tyson Fury's fault that fight didn't happen,
bro? It's not disingenuous, no, because that's not a real negotiation. If you know that this guy has potential arbitration, why would you even get into the negotiation?
Fury knew that.
How do you not know? Everybody knew. It was public knowledge. It was all over the internet.
Eddie Hearn was flying to Saudi Arabia, putting in
Eddie Hearn. Yeah, Eddie Hearn says a lot of stuff. I wouldn't take anything Eddie Hearn says.
What about the fact that even on his own Netflix show, this is Tyson Fury's Netflix show, mind you, bro. And if you haven't seen it, you should just go look at the episode. Don't watch the whole thing. Watch the one episode where he gives AJ an unrealistic timeline to get the fight done. He says by like 5 o'clock today, you need to accept my terms and conditions. He sends the contract out. AJ's team calls his team. They're talking to each other. They're hashing it out. He gets a call from his own management team saying, Tyson, please move the deadline. We're getting this done. The fight is going to happen. He says, no, he has until 5 today. He looks at the clock. And then as soon as 5 hits, he goes, it's over. AJ, it's over. You don't get to get the fight. This is him going against his own team's advisement, bro. You're still going to blame AJ for that too, right? It's documented on his own series that he blew the fight, and you're still going to defend that, right? Go ahead.
Do you believe that all reality TV is real? You think when we're watching like The Real World or watching any of these things, it's like people just acting normal. This is the everyday. We're catching it in real time. You understand this stuff is dramatized.
You want to use.
It's not real. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So complex.
But
okay, great. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I bet you everybody else does. That's what I'm telling you. It's unlike your piece of evidence that you want to use that allegedly was scrubbed from the internet. This is still available, so you can go and watch it. And whether
at the end of the day,
and whether you want to accept it or not, this is his own management team. So they're not lying. This is his own management team, lawyers, everyone telling him we're pushing the fight through. AJ's going to do it. Push the deadline back. The fight's going to happen. His own team telling him that, and him going against his own team's wishes, bro. Come on, man. Stop playing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all this is cute. If there's a fight right now that's ready to be signed. You've got the worldwide leader Netflix, not ESPN, but Netflix, the worldwide leader in streaming, right? It's streaming, ready to put this fight on. You're in the crowd. You've got thousands of people around. You've got millions of people watching. This is the moment when it comes to mano a mano, boxer to boxer. You get in that ring, you size him up, and you tell him to his face. Like he told him comfortably. This is the thing. It's easy to talk trash when you're sitting outside or 10 feet away. There's a bunch of people between you. Say that to his face. And he had some good lines. He was like, yo, I punched you up when I was younger. I'll punch you up again. But you know where that's going to be real impactful? You go say that to his face and dare him. Obviously, Tyson's not going to do anything, but you dare him to his face. So even if you were going to play the whole, whatever, I would call him out to his face. I would have gotten in the ring and been like, look, Tyson, you're full of shit. You know that we're supposed to fight. This is the time. You call him out in the moment because then he has nothing else to say. So even if everything you say is right, Kaden, it still doesn't excuse the fact that AJ didn't get in the ring and use that moment to control the narrative. AJ tried to control it from outside the ring. And to me, I don't think it came across as well as it should have. Because if it really was that strong of an argument, it would have been way more people excited about it. And the same argument could have been made in Fury's face.
No, I disagree. And I also think there's a number of factors that you're not considering that play a role into it. There's a lot of subliminal, subtle messaging that was taking place last night. And you brought up like an exchange between Turki Al-Sheikh and Frank Warren. One of the things that's taking place last night is the fact that Hooney, for example, was fighting against Frazier Clark. He still allegedly has a contract with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, which Eddie Hearn put out there before the fight happened. Then there's also Conor Benn, who got $15 million for that performance that we'll discuss later on, so we won't get into it right now, for his fight with Regis Prograis. So another Eddie Hearn fighter who signed with Zuffa but wasn't fighting on Zuffa was fighting on a Ring magazine card, right? And then you have Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And you have Eddie Hearn. And if you look, before then, they were saying they were going to announce the fight. And this was before Fury fought. And Turki Al-Sheikh was like, where's Eddie? If Eddie can get in this ring, he was looking for Eddie then. And then when they were going to do the call out, they were looking for Eddie again. And Turki was saying, Eddie, come in the ring, before Tyson Fury called out Anthony Joshua. So I think you're also missing this. I think this was a stand from Eddie as well in his stable saying like, no, we're not playing this game. If you want us to participate, you let us know in advance. You give us these contracts in advance. We're not going in the ring and co-signing this. So I think a lot of it had to do with Eddie Hearn as well, because again, like I said, if you were watching throughout the night, Eddie wasn't playing ball with them. Like, it was a few times where Turkey was like, "Where's Eddie? Where's Eddie?" He called for Eddie to go in the ring. Eddie didn't go in the ring. So if Eddie doesn't go in the ring and then AJ goes in the ring, that looks bad. And I think AJ's loyal. And I think AJ was sending a message that I'm with Eddie. I'm not Connor. And we're not playing this game. And you heard what Eddie Hearn said when he spoke about it. He was saying, we got no offer. We have no real contracts. We're not playing this game. When we see the real offers and everything, we'll let it be known. And you have to listen to what Anthony Joshua was saying. He said, I dictate the terms. Because in reality, AJ is the big dog. Whether you guys like it or not, you Deontay Wilder fans, you Tyson Fury fans, AJ's the big dog. He's always been the big dog. You guys just couldn't see it. They need him. He doesn't need them. Otherwise, they can go fight each other for a fourth time and make pennies on the dollar. But if they really want to make that money, they got to wait till the landlord makes his decision. That's just big facts.
That's cool. So the whole thing with not Frank Warren, what
Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn, sorry, it's early. The whole thing with Eddie Hearn, the whole thing with Eddie Hearn is like the same idea. Okay, I understand there's a whole power struggle right now with Turkey and everything and behind the scenes. And even Turkey, I think they were in the locker room right before the fight, and Turkey went over with like a jersey and was like thumbs down to Frank Warren and whatever. So clearly Turkey's like feeling himself, and the guys he used to hold hands with is now, trying to make fun of them. And that's why I said you don't give lame people with money too much power, because they start to feel like they actually deserve to be where they're at. So I said what I said there. But in any event, even if Eddie, this is my point. You guys have the world media on the stage right now, literally in the palm of your hands. The cameras are rolling. You saw the 3 big cameras behind Tyson, like trying to capture this moment. There's like they're literally like we're right here, right? We're all here. If there's ever a time to use your voice to say something, whatever, that's the moment. And if Eddie really had smoke, Eddie and AJ could have got in there and tore everybody to shreds. They could have been like, you're a dosser, you're a this, you're a that. They could have called out Tyson. They could have called out Turkey. They could have called out anybody they wanted to at that moment, because everybody would have been there listening. And this happens like all the time. What's his name? Eddie's gone in the ring before and had this kind of interviews. So this is my point. Like, I just think I don't disagree that AJ may have some good points about whether or not the fight's going to happen, whatever, and maybe there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't know. But I think as a boxing fan and as a fan of the drama and all that stuff, I think it would have been better for him to do that in the ring. The whole it's your time, whatever, playing that nice guy, whatever, I don't know, role that he's trying to play, to me never comes across the way it should. I think it comes across as timid as opposed to confident. Now, some people look at it differently, but I think either way, if you could say something outside the ring from 20 feet away, you could say it from his face 2 inches away, right? And at the end of the day, I think the message is always going to be stronger when you're right there, that energy. And that's what people want to see, that smoke. So I'll leave it at that. I think hopefully the fight happens.
I don't think we're necessarily. Would it have been great for the sport and for entertainment purposes if AJ got in the ring and they had that little back and forth in the ring? For entertainment purposes, yes, I agree with you. But this is what I'm saying to you, and I think you'll agree with this. The fact that Turkey's ready to announce this fight, right? And they haven't even discussed the business aspect with Anthony Joshua yet. The fight's not signed. This is what's reported. And I know that Eddie has to be telling the truth because he went public with it. The fight's not signed, and you're ready to announce it to the world as if it's done. You don't find like that's like putting the car before the horse. Like you don't feel like AJ doesn't have a legitimate point where he's like, I'm not playing along with this game if it's not signed and if I don't know all the details. So if, let's say hypothetically, everything was ironed out, the fight was set to go, it was signed, sealed, delivered, and AJ sat on a chair like that, I would have big issues with it. I would be here saying like, bro, you got to sell the fight. You got to get in that ring. You got to put on the show. But the fact that nothing signed, the fact that this is just them putting on a spectacle, right? You got to think about this as Anthony Joshua. I'm not going to make him hot. I'm not about to be these guys been living off my name in a potential fight with me for 10 years. I'm not doing this. We going to really fight or not? So I don't blame him from that perspective. It wasn't anticlimactic. I'm watching like everybody else. I tweeted like, yo, hopefully they're about to announce AJ versus Fury, which they did, but they don't have no signed deal. So that's
you also tweeted, I guess not, because AJ's not getting in the ring.
Exactly. Once AJ declined to get in the ring, that's when I knew like, oh, this isn't official.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we can go back and forth forever. One, I do want to make a quick point. You just mentioned that AJ said he's not playing this game without knowing all the details and whatever. Wilder said the same thing about 10 years ago, and we lambasted him for it as well. Who cares, whatever. If you just sign whatever, just take whatever deal. But AJ now is like, hey, wait a second. If there's a deal, what's going on? Where's the money? What's going on here? I'm not going to just sign it.
That's not an apples and apples. That's not an apples and apples comparison. Deontay Wilder was offered $120 million, which was way more than he had made in his entire career and way more than he was making per fight. He declined. Anthony Joshua is a different beast. Anthony Joshua is the cash cow. Anthony Joshua makes the money. There was no reason for Deontay Wilder not to sign that deal because hindsight being 2020, again, he's never made that $120 million. He would have made a lot.
He's made over $120 million in his career.
No, he hasn't. Bro, stop it. Again, do the research. Do not like.
We're not going to legislate this again.
There's really no need, bro. There's really no need. Deontay Wilder has not made $120 million in his career. But if you want to believe that, go ahead. How about
it's fine.
Just do the math. Where did he make it? Where did he make it?
Where did he make it? I mean,
where did he make $120 million?
The second Fury fight, I think they both made like $50 million off the strength of that.
No, they did.
Then the third one, I know that Fury got the lion's share, so I think he made anywhere at least between 30 or 40.
All right, well,
then you also got
watch this. Do what you do in the comments.
I mean, we can go back. We can go back and look at his purses. I don't know all his purses, but I know
I'll tell you who's documented for making over $120 million in his career, and it's Anthony Joshua.
And that's fine, but this is the point. This is the point, right? And like I said, I don't want to legislate this. I'll just make two things. One, the whole that's more than Wilder ever would have made. That's more than Joshua would have ever made as well. The deal was hold on, no, not Wilder's money, whatever money he was going to make. Because at the end of the day, that fight was just like a Manny Pacquiao Mayweather type energy fight for it. That fight would have done $1 billion. It would have done a crazy amount of money. Both of them would have made way more money. This is my thing. I hate this whole thing. It's like, I'm giving you a payday. Bro, you're making a big payday off this as well. We're both so make it fair for both people. So that's number one thing. Number two, there's already been documented as John Skipper, who was the president of the zone at the time, saying we messed those negotiations up. He took the blame. So why Wilder still gets the blame when they know that, hey, actually the way we approached the deal was completely wrong and that's why it didn't work out. But at the end of the day, this comes back to AJ and what happened yesterday. Right. And like I said, I wrap up with this. I think we both agree, yes, it would have been good for the drama for him to get in the ring. He has his reasons why he didn't get in the ring. I'm not saying those are invalid reasons. I'm just saying that for the moment and for the time that you want to maximize that ring, that getting in that squared circle at that moment would have been like you would have gotten so much more traction out of those videos, out of everything that's come along. So with that said, at the end of the day, I still hope the fight happens. I think it's going to happen. I think, maybe he's trying to play a little bit of leverage, like certain things he wants. I'm almost positive we already had conversations. Like this was we heard rumor about this since like late last year. I think they already have to probably figured out whatever's going to happen. I don't think that's the only reason why Fury was on Netflix with this fight, because I don't see them paying for it. They don't care who Bakhmutov is, but whatever. So it was to build up to this fight. So let's make this fight happen. I don't want to hear any excuses. Whatever the case is, you guys are both going to make a boatload of money, but the fans need this fight. We got to see it.
Yeah, so I just want to highlight something real quick. This is just big facts. Again, this isn't me speculating. This is just me pointing out facts, right? Anthony Joshua didn't fight Tyson Fury. He didn't fight Deontay Wilder, but he is the cash cow and he is the landlord. And you just look at the facts, right? Look at the big time fights that he has had. And we'll start with Andy Ruiz, the rematch. Big, massive fight, right? And if I'm not mistaken, that was like the first big fight in Saudi Arabia. AJ and Andy Ruiz cashed out, right? So, boom. Then you look at Anthony Joshua and you look at his fights with Usyk, especially the rematch. Another major cash fight for Anthony Joshua. Then you look at the fight with Daniel Dubois. You look at his fight with Jake Paul. When you talk about Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, I almost forgot that one, another cash fight for him. This guy has just been raking in the money, and he's been doing it without Tyson Fury and without Deontay Wilder. When you look at their careers, right, their biggest paydays and their biggest moments came against each other. Well, Tyson Fury had some with Usyk, but Usyk also beat him. But my thing is, Anthony Joshua has been able to do all of this without them. And now when you look at the situation at hand, he can pick between either one now. Wilder wants to fight him and Tyson Fury wants to fight him, allegedly. So now he can pick which one he wants and which one he thinks is best, which we're going to get into in one of our topics, basically, who he should fight. But my thing is complex, and it's not to say that you're wrong for what you want and whatever, but if you're a genuine person, it's hard to fake it, yo, especially for the cameras. And I just think like AJ is past the point of selling this fight with Tyson Fury. It's like you used an analogy before, so I will speak to you in your analogy language, right? Complex. Here we go. All right. It's like you've been whining and dining and romancing a shorty, right? And she's been like pretending like, oh, tonight's going to be the night, but it's not the night. Tonight's going to be the night, and it's not the night. When she plays that game again, like, oh, yeah, we're going to go out and it's going to be the night, you're going to be like, you know what? You're going out by yourself because I'm not playing this game tonight. And you just don't. So that's what it's like. They done teased AJ too much. Okay. And
just said you must be used to be spending exactly. All that sweet wine in the time.
So AJ said, I'm not used to all this. Okay. Either tonight or no deal. So that's what happened, Complex.
Oh my God. Well, look, y'all, this was another classic debate. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Or were y'all rocking with AJ the way he approached this thing? Is he just, tired of the foreplay? He's trying to get to the action. Is he tired? He's like, I'm tired of all this. Are we going to do it or not? Is AJ frustrated? Let us know what y'all think in the comments, all right? Let us know what y'all think in the comments. It's Corner to Corner. That's Kaden. I'm Complex. Yo, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.